Hello, welcome to Fat Mascara. I'm Jen Sullivan. I'm so glad you're here. So if you happen to click on this episode, it's Friday, and you haven't yet listened to the Wednesday episode, please go back. Just scroll a tiny bit back and click on our Naughty and Nice special of 2024. It was so much fun putting it together for you, and we had such a blast. You have to listen to that before you listen to this. But as we said, we are doing a bit of some of our best episodes, some things we love this year. Next week, we're going to do the top interview of the year, according to you. You all voted. But today, what I have for you is a best of FM. And just as a reminder, we're going to be back in the new year on January 8th with all new news episodes. But for now, this best of designation doesn't go to everybody. But Nikki Nelms is absolutely worthy. So she's a hairstylist, and she's worked with everybody from Yara Shahidi and Solange to Janelle Monáe. And her creativity knows no bounds. In fact, as you listen to this interview, which was originally recorded in 2020, I want you to take from it creative inspiration to go into the new year with. Like, this is the person to take it from. As she says, when she's thinking about how she approaches new work, creativity, a new job, whatever it is, she doesn't ever look to the side. She doesn't look at what other people are doing. She just looks forward. And I love that energy, and I want us all to bring that into 2025. So we're going to play that interview for you now, and we'll be back on Wednesday with another special guest then too. All right, let's get into it.
Thank you for coming, Nikki.
Thanks for having me.
We wanted to have you on the show for a long time.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
So first up, let's think back. When is the first moment that you knew when you were good at doing hair, when you were like, I could do something that like not everybody can do here?
When I was little, I can't remember how old I was. I think I might have been in the fourth grade or something. But my older cousin, her name was Rhoda. She passed away. She did a style on herself, and it was so beautiful to me. That was the first time I saw a connection between a hairstylist and a regular person, because I thought that you had to have be some kind of special person to do hair. You know what I mean? But when my cousin did it, I was like, oh, you're just my cousin, but you made it look so professional. And all day I remember asking her, tell me how you did it. What kind of curling iron? And I was a kid, you know? So she told me how to do it, and I did one of my aunt's hair. She let me, experiment on her, and it came out so pretty. And my other aunt, Cynthia, she used to go to this salon called, I can't remember it, but the stylist was Donna, and she was the city's best, and she did the same hairstyle at the same time that I did it on my other aunt. And mine kind of looked better and lasted longer. And I remember my aunt saying, well, that's crazy. Why did I pay all that money to Donna when I could have let you do it, And when I got that confirmation from her, it made me feel wow, I could do it. So I think that was the first time I put the connection together that I might have something, Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And then were there aunties coming out of the woodwork to get their hair done?
Well, the aunt that I did it on, Aunt Norma, she had a standing appointment for the rest of my life. She always, got her hair done and would tell her friends about me. It's my niece, she's super young, but you can't tell because she does a good job, So yeah, it was on the up and up from that.
So you went from working in the salon world, if I'm right, to working with celebrities. But I want to know how you made that jump, because, a lot of us know you from working with these massive celebrities who Jen named at the top.
Well, I get bored easily. And when I started in a salon, I started right after I finished cosmetology school. When I got to the salon life, professional, licensed, my main thing was my goal was to be in a hair magazine. That's all I wanted. I just wanted to see a picture of a style that I created in a hair salon, hype hair, American salon, whatever. So that happened pretty quickly, and I was over it. I was like, that was it. The first time the salon I worked in did a submission with my work, they picked up 3 pictures of mine. And I was like, all right, it has to be more than that. the thrill is gone. And so I started to hear about like a lot of music videos being shot in Miami. I worked in Fort Lauderdale, so that was the thing. And I just did everything that I could, linked up with the right people. And
But how did you find those people? I think a lot of people don't even know how to break into that world of celebrity and music videos.
Well, I worked in a salon, and the salon had like, models that would come in, and if they told me they had a fashion show, I would go to the fashion show, and then I'd ask, who did your hair? And then they tell me who did their hair, and then conversations with that person would lead to, oh, I heard about a music video, and I'm like, how do you get booked on that? And then tell me, oh, contact this lady. So it was a lot of like, one connect leads to the other. I was really determined. I had tunnel vision. Like, I wouldn't stop until I found someone that would say, okay, can you come and do this job,
So you have to be the squeaky wheel.
You have to be annoying.
You have to be annoying.
Like, sometimes they're not going to call you back, and sometimes they don't want you to call them back, but you still have to do it, And this wasn't like the social media time, so it wasn't like you could go and slide in someone's DM. Like, a lot of jobs came from Craigslist and cold calling and stuff,
I think that's really good advice, even though it's kind of hard to hear. You have to be annoying. You do have to be very proactive. While we were doing some research, there was an amazing story about you working with Lil Wayne. Would you mind telling our listeners about that? Because you were kind of the squeaky wheel in that situation. That didn't fall into your lap.
I guess I could say I was a squeaky wheel because I met him randomly at the Essence Festival weekend in New Orleans, and we were at this club called 360. It was this club in New Orleans that would spin around like slowly through the night. And me and my friends, we were there just on vacation, so it was like no hair kit. I didn't bring a hair kit or whatever. I had no intentions on doing hair. So I saw him come in the club. And mind you, I'm from the South. Me and all of my friends were big fans of everything Cash Money, So when we saw him, for some reason, I did not fan out at that moment. Like, I don't know why. It just turned into like such a normal situation for me. My friends, they were like, oh my God, that's Lil Wayne. But I was just like, my mind went into work mode. Like, I wonder when he's going to shoot a music video. So we were standing at the bar together. And I mean, like I said, we were fans of his. So we really listened to his music. And I thought that I knew him for real. Like, he rapped about his mom, his daughter's mom. So I felt like I knew them. So when we were at the bar together, I leaned in and I was like, how's Sita doing? Sita's his mother. And he was looking like, she's good, And I was like, oh, okay. So I was like, what's up, And he was like, all right, I'll do that. And I said, well, when are you shooting your next music video? And he was like, tomorrow. And I was like, oh, cool. I was like, well, let me know if you need somebody, to do your hair. I'm here. I do hair. I'll give you my number. You can just call me. And he was like, okay. And so that was it.
That is so crazy.
So, I'm excited that the conversation didn't go bad. And I was walking around with my friends and I was like, yeah, we were talking. And then he walked around. I guess, I don't know if he was looking for me, but he found me and he was like, hey, let me get your number. And then so I was like, whoa, shit, this is really happening. So I started running my resume down to him. And I was like, well, I've done a McDonald's commercial with Venus and Serena. I've done this. And he was like, I don't care. I didn't ask you. You know what I mean? It doesn't really matter. Like, you could just give me your number. I was like, okay, cool.
Oh, my God.
Gave him my number. And, I wasn't expecting him to call. But in the back of my mind, it's like, when you play the lottery, you don't really think you're going to win. But you do start planning, like, what you'll do with that money if you won, kind of thing.
Yeah, exactly.
So I, went on with my night. My next day, the next day was Sunday. I think the club scene was like Saturday night. And he called like closer to 6 o'clock, like maybe 5 or something like that. And I was like, he was like, hello, may I speak with Nikki? And I was like, I knew who it was, but I couldn't act like I knew who it was. So I was like,
That you know that voice. Yeah.
that's how that went. I didn't have anything to do with his hair. He asked, was I available? The stores were closing in an hour in New Orleans. So I had to find a beauty supply store to get things to do his hair. And it wasn't like you could Google on your phone at that time. So we got the phone book, me and my friends, and we just went down the line and called every beauty supply store. The last beauty supply store we called was open. Most of them they said that they were closing. But the last one, I lied and told them that I was this big hair salon and that I needed to place a super large order last minute. If they could stay open for me, it'd be worth their while.
Did you buy a lot? Did you end up buying a lot?
No, I only needed 4 things, but I needed him to stay open because I couldn't tell him, hey, I need just 10 clips and some gel or whatever. He would be like, no, try tomorrow. So I had to be, a little liar in that situation. So we caught a cab. Was no Uber, no Lyft. We had to find a cab, Essence Festival weekend, to go to the beauty supply store. And that sounds like, okay, we're on our way, until the cab driver decided to stop and get an oil change.
Oh my God. Do you want to scream?
It was a mess, but got the stuff, got there. The owner or the store guy was super pissed. And he was like, I thought you wanted a gallon of relaxer and all of this stuff. And I was just like, plans have changed. Let me just get this.
Oh my God.
That's half the story.
See, you had to work, not squeaky wheel, but you had to work for it. I mean, you could do a lot of type of hair, but we've heard this story from other stylists where they start doing, say, men's hair, and then you have a lot of guys in your portfolio, and people are like, you're a groomer. Or they're doing red carpet work, and people are only hiring them to do celebrity red carpet. They're not getting editorial work. So as you were coming up, you said you had already done a commercial and things, but did you ever feel like you were getting pigeonholed, your portfolio, and you wanted to do something else, but you were getting stuck in a rut?
I mean, that happens to this day. I'll get a lot of questions from, editors and whatever. They only want to ask me about curly hair shampoo or, it's very boxed in. They don't look at my body of work or think that, I'm expansive or anything. They label me and then that's it, But yeah.
Is that really annoying?
Yeah, it's annoying, but I'm still in control, so I don't have to answer questions if I don't want to. You know what I mean? So I keep that in mind, because sometimes you can feel like you're held hostage in this thing, but you're really not. That's their issue. If you can't see me for the whole of who I am, then that means your vision is pretty limiting. So I keep that in mind. I don't take on their issues, But yeah, that was one. I was kind of put in a box with him, but I kind of appreciated it early on because once I got out of it, I felt like there's nothing that I couldn't do or couldn't get myself out of because it was so hard to get women because I wanted to do women's hair, all textures, all types. It's so hard to get a woman to believe that you can make them look beautiful and make their curls look gorgeous when your main client or only client and sometimes was Lil Wayne and he had dreadlocks, But so when I realized that I just used the tools that I had and got myself out of that box, it made me see that I can get myself out of any situation and get myself to any situation. That's why when they do it now, I'm not as, bothered because I just feel like that's your phase you're going through. You know what I mean? That's your mindset. So
yeah. It's funny. You said I could get myself out of any situation. I was like, that's why she's the hair MacGyver.
Well, nobody's ever called me that. And everybody, I just put that on my Instagram and it became a thing. And I was like, maybe I should have put child of God or something. I don't know. But they're like, so they call you hair MacGyver. I'm like, no one's ever called me hair MacGyver. That's just how I felt. It comes from the old television show MacGyver. He could make a bomb out of toothpaste and a hairpin and, get himself out of a situation. So I really felt like any situation you put me in with hair, even if I didn't have what I needed, I could make it happen and no one would ever know like what I was lacking. So that's why I called myself that. Self-proclaimed.
So once, you work with Lil Wayne, you're saying you're trying to get out of that, that kind of box or that client that people were associating you with. You've moved on to do so many incredible hair looks with so many beautiful women and incredible clients. Which client or which look do you think really put you on the map in that broader way?
I don't know, because I've never been like a personality, so my work has always stood in front of me. Like, there's people that they may have just found out about me, but they've always, or at some point in time, have loved something that I've done. So I don't know, I wouldn't say that I was put on the map. Like, I found that I met people that loved a seat at the table, the work that I did with Solange on that. But at the same time, like, that's what they associate me with. But they loved Kanye West Gold Digger video. They loved it so much. They didn't know that I did that. So it's like, So
you feel like your work, you didn't get notoriety for your work, but your work is so recognizable.
Yeah, I'm never trying to get notoriety from it. Like, that's not the goal. I want my styles and my art to stand in front of me. I'll stand behind it, because that's just me.
Is there a look that you are personally the most proud of, or one that's the most personal to you? Maybe it's because of the artistry or some other reason that feels very...
Sometimes the story behind the style makes me love it more, or like the chance that I took with it, like how maybe I didn't have everything I needed to pull it off and it still worked, and then the world went crazy for it. And it's like, if you only knew that I only had 3 minutes to do that, you know what I mean?
What's a moment like that?
They all have a story. It's like they're like my kids. It's like none of them will be my favorite, but they all have this thing. So maybe you can pick one and then I can tell you something about it that was special.
Oh, can I pick one?
Surely.
Because I have loved this look forever. You put googly eyes on Janelle Monáe. And I was like, this woman has balls. This is the greatest look. And you didn't even realize they were googly eyes. And it was like it was so cool. Like, it just looked... It moved, it had movement, but it was sculptural.
I love when things just come together and it makes sense. I love doing hairstyles that, like, you love it so much, the client loves it so much, the world, whatever, loves it so much, that you really can't imagine another style working for the full look, Like, I love the perfect look. So the googly eyes to me just worked so well because it was on the right client. I mean, Janelle is like, to me, she's like the owner of wearing black and white, They're black and white, She's like theatrical and just, out of the box, a forward thinker, and wearing googly eyes in your hair just kind of embodies that. And I didn't have an idea I didn't have a clue that I even wanted to do that. Like, I bought those like 20 minutes before I used them. Like, I stopped. We had a late call time. We had a shoot. We had a late call time. And I'm always like right on time for work. I'm never like the early one, Like, I always miss the bagels or whatever. So I had my driver. I was like, let's stop by, art supply store. And I'm gonna just take a whiz around and see what I see and see how I feel. So I was on the phone with another client and she was telling me something. I don't know. We was talking about her boyfriend or whatever. And I was just going up and down the aisles. And I was like, these googly eyes are speaking to me. And I was like, I think I'm going to get them for Janelle because I can use them today. And she's like, you're going to put eyes in somebody's hair? I'm like, yeah, why not? I mean, what's going to happen? Who's going to die? And so I was like, I think I'm going to get them. And then so I got them. I took a chance. She could have said like, no, hell no, yeah, whatever. But I showed her. She loved it. And it was like a thing. Like, I had my friends that were in Paris calling me like, you did that? I love that. You're everybody's talking about you in the office or whatever, they work in fashion. And I was like, that's crazy how like things can travel or leave an impact. So I liked how it was something random for me, but it made such an impact. Or people always reference it. They love it.
I thought for sure for weeks in advance you had it planned. You had tested all different googly eyes.
No, I don't plan anything.
And then, of course, 20 minutes before.
It's very like pop art. It feels very like, remember like the Murakami, like the little eyes everywhere? It really feels like something. I'm not surprised your like Paris fashion friends loved it. It was very, very cool.
And that's the other thing. I don't do a lot of research because I try to like tap into whatever is inside of me. And I feel like sometimes artists, it's so easy to be influenced. So I don't even want to, I want to just do whatever is inside before I allow an outside influence or something to affect where I was going to go with it anyway. So like when I do these little things, it's not like I had a mood board and I'm trying to follow this thing that I envisioned. It's like all from inside. Just so it's, to me, it's more pure.
So you're not somebody that works with, we talk to artists all the time on the show, and very often they're like, they have their reference images and all that. You don't work from that space.
If I'm like in a zone and I'm trying to figure something out, I'll look at like old family photos or like really old artists, and I'll just kind of put myself in that mental space. But I never look to the side or something kind of current because it feels like cheating to me, or it just feels so lame to be influenced by someone that's working to the side of you. You know what I mean?
Spoken like a true artist.
I love that.
So you said you're a really good problem solver. Or you didn't say it explicitly, but we could tell you are. Has there ever been like a look that stumped you? Like you knew you wanted to achieve it, but you weren't sure how? Or a problem that you had to like, you didn't know how to unlock with hair?
It's going to sound really crazy, but actually no. And I get this from my mother. I don't know what it is about her, but I just recognize it in me because I've paid attention to her all my life. But anytime an issue pops up, she instantly gets like all of these ideas and answers that could like solve it. Like I've literally watched my mother watch movers try to like put a house full of furniture on a truck, and it would be like one chair that just wouldn't make it on, and she would just like tilt her head and look, and she could tell them like some Tetris solver or whatever. She would say, take that out, turn that around, okay, now lift that out, push that back, and then that will fit. And I used to be so amazed, like, how did you do that? You know what I mean? Like, that's how she is. And I feel like that's how I am. When there's a problem, I work from behind, like, okay, this could work. Like, everything's a possibility, I don't know. I just think if you can think it, like, it can happen. So, and that's the simple part, like, thinking of it. Once you get the picture in your mind, all you have to do is, like, build it and figure out the resources to get the picture out of your mind and into real life. So, I mean, anything that requires you thinking out of the box. If you are limiting yourself to like a certain set of tools, or you only work with this, then yeah, you aren't going to be as resourceful as you could be. But I will use anything. Like anything can work. Like I've used the craziest things ever. Like I actually love not having everything I need because it makes me get warm inside. It's like, it's a game to me. It's like, let me see how I can get us out of this. Like, I love it.
So I've got to jump in and ask you then, what are some of the most surprising items that are in your toolkit? Or what are some of the most surprising...
Or weren't in your toolkit, but ended up in someone's hair?
I've had in my kit, like the sponges, or they're like these like roller things that you can roll your hair with. They're like little mini things and you can bend them. Flexi rods. Okay. So, flexi rods are cool. But I never knew that they made them like in super long sizes or lengths for like in the garden section of like Home Depot. They're like so long. They're just super long flexi rods, and they're meant to be used to like wrap cords.
Are they green?
They're green. I have green, blue, yellow.
I know exactly what you're talking about. And it's like foamy on the outside,
just like a flexi rod, but it's stronger. The wire is stronger on the inside. So just imagine like the shapes you can get if you wrap some hair around that. And I've had that. I bought them. They had some black ones, and I had it in my kit, and I was able to use it one day and just create this crazy shape. And everyone was like, what are those? Those look like super long, flexi rods. And I was like, it kind of is, it kind of is. And it was like a really cool look. So
That's so cool.
She's like, this is for my plant nursery.
Right.
So you make all these amazing, beautiful artistry, and it's what you're known for. Like, truly, I feel like every time you get on set, everybody's like, okay, what's Nikki going to do? How she's going to push the envelope. Do you ever feel trapped by your success or your work? Like people are expecting something from you based on the reputation you've built?
Well, I have definitely felt that in the past. It's kind of funny to me to watch. Like, you get a new client, and yeah, they could be like a fan of your work, but sometimes they reach out to you because of like what you represent or the other clients that you work with, or they see what you've done with and for other people, and they just want to feel that way themselves, like whatever way they think that you've made your other clients feel, because they look at them in a certain light. So, you can see them in the chair. They're sitting there like with this like little face of anticipation, like, it's about to happen. What is she gonna do? And it's so funny because that's not how I move. The moment will tell me what to do. And sometimes it's the relationship and the time spent with each other that organically creates like awesome hair moments. It may not be like you sit down in the chair and get this crazy style that's going to give you this new career path or something like that. Sometimes it's just the vibe or the moment, or it could be something like the shirt you wore could change the course of where we were going to go. So, like that's why it's so cool to work with people that are open to your openness, and they don't place that sometimes burden of expectation on you.
Nikki, when you're talking about this burden of expectations, is this like a new celebrity or like a new client that will come in who wants to work with you, and then it just kind of like fall flat?
Well, not fall flat, but I mean, sometimes, and I mean, in any relationship, I think what could ruin any potential great part of a relationship could be like entering it with expectation instead of just letting it be, like, you could have met the man of your dreams and he could really be your husband. But if you went on your first date with your list and this is what I want, and you put that pressure on them, like, I want to be married in like 32 months or whatever, like now they're looking at you in a different way and they're not free to be. So it kind of affects like the course, So I just like things to be, I get it. People want what they want, and I'm gonna give it to them. But I feel like the best of me comes when you just like chill out. And keep in mind, when I say I like freedom, I'm never like just this magician giving out a hairstyle I'm not welcome to, collaborating, because I love to collaborate with my clients. That's the best way to customize and give them what's best for them. I have to know them, and I have to know what they don't like, what they're comfortable with. And so then I create my own like lane and boundaries with them,
So what are these tools though? Like, I feel like you need a good toolkit to have that freedom to be creative. So like, what do you like to bring on set always?
Well, there's two sets. There's that prep set. Then there's the we're about to get going on this shoot set, So prep set, I love to try and keep the hair like healthy and hydrated and just do all of the like necessary groundwork so that I can get the best hair when it's time to shoot, because, you need something healthy and happy to work with, it lightens my load. So
that's like the TLC kit. What's in there?
Some great shampoos. I love my Maui Moisture. Right now I'm on the Awapui You know, it's waking up a lot of hair.
Oh, that smells good.
It's keeping it hydrated with that aloe and coconut water, you know? I keep like a lot of good like styling products. I like hairsprays that I can build with and it doesn't work against me, you know? Like I like Sebastian Shaper Plus. But that will be in my on-set kit. But the healthier the hair, the better the on-style kit works, you know? But not to say that I can't do your hair if it's unhealthy, because I'm gonna tell you, I've got some really good styles out of some unhealthy hair. You know what I mean? It's moldable.
You're like, I have to work around this. Then you get real creative.
But in the on-set kit, it's everything. It depends on the client. It depends on the type of shoot we're gonna do. The more creative control I have or the more freedom they're giving me, I tend to just throw everything in there. Like I throw things in the kit up until the point that I'm leaving out the door. I just never know like, oh, what if I need that? What if I need that? Because a lot of times you don't have time to run out or you can't send an assistant because you need the shot in like minutes or whatever. So I have everything. I've had hangers, wire, hot glue guns, like not just your average blow dryer. I mean, I'll have anything in there. Nails.
How big is this kit?
You know, the double decker ski boarding kit. I mean, they're bags for the ski board. So I have 2 of those. No, I have 3 of those. So it just depends on how crazy the job is. But for the most part, I'm a minimalist. I know that sounds like pretty opposite of what I just said, but I bring things for the just in case. But I really could like go with a little something and then figure it out on site, you know? But sometimes it depends on the client or if the client knows you and how well they know what you can do. Like some clients like to see a lot of stuff. It makes them comfortable. So there's been situations where I bring everything just to make them comfortable, but I still use the same 4 things that I like to use. But they just like to know that, you know, you have things. Because I've arrived at a shoot with like the smallest little purse and it had everything in it that I needed. Because I like travel size cans and all of that. And they're like, where's your kit? And I'm like, I have it. It's right here. It's good. They were so miserable because they just didn't feel comfortable that I could do it. So I was like, okay, moving forward, I'll just bring the bells and whistles for you, but I don't need it, you know?
Did they actually say something or was it just like, did their face fall?
It was a photographer and their face fell. They said something. It was the whole thing. I actually went to the store and bought a bunch of stuff just so they felt better.
Oh,
I didn't
God.
use any of it.
It makes me think of that post where I forget who posted this. It was like, you're not paying me for the amount of time it took me to do the work. You're paying me for the years of experience that went into, you know, like it's not the bells and whistle. So what about you personally? Okay, we know you have all your stuff for when you're doing a client. What do you like? What's your skin regimen? This is like a beauty podcast. We want to know what makes Nikki tick.
What makes Nikki tick? Well, lately I haven't been doing anything. Well, I've been trying to maintain my skin. I started using Kate Somerville, this face wash. Shani Darden, she has this serum that I like. I talk to Kelly Rowland a lot and she has the best skin ever and she knows all of the like best products. So whatever her fave is of the month is like what I'll do. So I'm like using everything. I really try to maintain like my hair, not in terms of like a style, but just keeping it like healthy. I'm making a lot of masks at home, like for conditioners. I'm mixing, well, that sounds like a reach actually. I'm just mixing in different oils into conditioners that I like. Like I told you, I like the Awapui conditioner and shampoo with Maui. So I'll mix in a little, you know, grapeseed oil or some olive oil, whatever, you know, I have, and I'll just sit under the dryer with it with like a shower cap and just get, you know, like extra conditioning. So I've been just focusing on the health of my hair. I like to do that. And then I work down to my face because I feel like if my hair is like dirty and unkept, then it's like, I feel like it's sliding down into my face. I don't know, mentally, that's just how I feel. And then, you know, I'm doing a lot of like scrubs and on my body.
Do you make your own scrub or is that something that you buy?
I buy them. because I don't know how. I mean, I was going to make one. One of my friends sent me this like little recipe, but I'm like, I have so many in there. Like, I'll just use those, like the brown sugar.
Do people send you beauty products? I mean, sure, they send you hair products, but
they send a lot.
It's a nice perk.
It is, but it's like, where am I going to put all of this stuff? And then you have so much, you have to give yourself time to try them to know if you even like them. And by the time you finish trying it, like, the other new one that you didn't try expired. So you have to, I try to share with my friends and then get their opinion. Like, did you like it? Then maybe I'll go out and buy it. But it's a lot.
Spoken like a beauty editor, Nikki.
Oh, really?
A true beauty editor. Yeah.
What I wish they would send me more of, it's like candles.
Oh, we can't get enough candles here.
What's your favorite candle?
Diptyque, I love.
I like the beige one.
Beige, and I like 34 is the next runner-up.
So before we let you leave, we have to ask you the Fat Mascara 5, which is just a lightning round of questions, so you don't have to think about them too hard. Ready? What is the first beauty product you fell in love with?
Avon had this face wash that I love so much. When I was in high school, I used to love it. My mom would buy it for me. It was from Avon.
Did she get it from like an Avon lady?
Probably someone like at her job sold Avon, like everyone sold Avon.
Who is a celebrity who you have not met, but you know you'd be best friends with?
Erykah Badu.
Oh,
I've met her a couple times.
I feel like I want Erykah Badu's phone number.
I feel like it's so many situations I'm in that I'm like, I want to call her and just ask her, what should I do? Yeah, that's all. Like, I love my friends to be like knowledgeable, and I can ask them things.
What's your favorite indulgent snack? And be specific.
There's this banana pudding that I love from this restaurant in Brooklyn called Doc D's Bakery. So good. Like, everyone's always like, Magnolia this, Magnolia that. And for a more accessible snack, I like those Nutter Butter like wafers, the peanut butter.
Yes.
The little sandwich cookies.
No, not the sandwich cookies. I like the wafer version of those.
Oh, I want to mix them into the banana pudding.
Oh, that sounds good. Okay. Now we're friends. Now we are friends.
Now we're living. Now we're living.
Okay. Now I'm going to be thinking about that. And they're kind of hard to find in New York for some reason. Like, I never really see them. So my mom sends them to me sometimes.
Thanks, Mom.
Oh, that's really sweet. She's a good mom. Okay, what song pumps you up?
My First Song by Jay-Z.
And then, we always raise a wand to a product at the end of the show. Or it could be basically anything that we're really feeling right now. So what do you want to raise a wand to? What are you obsessed with right now?
I'll have to raise a wand to Maui Moisture's Weightless Oil Mist.
Ooh, that sounds good.
It's good. It's saved me in a lot of situations. It gives that nice little finishing touch. Like, sometimes a client will run out the door and head to red carpet, and you just don't really get the right amount of time for last looks. So it's so super fine and effective. I'll just do like a quick little mist once over, and it gives the right amount of shine for the carpet. So I'll raise a wand to that.
I feel like you do not need saving ever. I feel like you got it under control. If I ever go out into the wild and need like someone on my survival kit, it's going to be Nikki Nelms. That's what I decided.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Nikki, thank you so much. This is great. We hope you enjoyed the show.
It's your reviews and feedback that help us make the podcast even better. Head over to iTunes to rate and review us, or email your thoughts to info@fatmascara.com.
We also want to answer your beauty questions and hear what products you love. To share a Raise a Wand product review or to ask a beauty question, email us at info@fatmascara.
If you send it as a voice memo file, we can even share your voice on the podcast. You can also do that by leaving us a voice message. Our phone number in the United States is 646-481-8182.
Thanks so much for listening.